Sophie Warshauer also writes, are there questions that you were told this is the answer you should tell guests? Yes, such as when I did Pocahontas with John Rolfe and John Smith, you just were to say, like, John Smith was a very good friend, but my heart beats for John Rolfe. That was what I told guests. So, but for the most part, like with Princess Jasmine, I felt like it was a lot of improv, you know. People were always asking, where's Aladdin, where's Aladdin, where's Aladdin? Like there were times where I knew where Aladdin was going to be. Like if he was going to be in the parade, I used to tell guests, oh, look for Aladdin in the parade. He's going to be in the parade today. So things like that. Or, you know, oh, he had to go back to Agrabah to, you know, help my father, the Sultan, with royal duties. You know, something like that is what I would tell guests. And before I would go out on my set, like on a break, I would kind of decide at the beginning of the day or at the beginning of the shift what my spiel was going to be. So I always kind of had it handy and ready to give to guests. She writes, how long did it take you to pick up any accents and mannerisms and break bad habits like saying, oh my God? Yeah, I hope I didn't say, oh my God, too much on set or anything like that. Probably I let it slip a few times, I'm sure, but for the most part, I like to think that I didn't do that. And it was mainly by sticking to the script that you have in your head of things that you want to say. Because I felt like a lot of the times the Aladdin character and I, when we were performing, were saying almost the same thing over and over all day, just different guests, you know, so it could get kind of monotonous, you know. You're just pretty much making small talk and you're trying to see as many guests as possible and still trying to personalize that experience and make it as magical as possible. So comment below if any other face characters, if you ever feel like that, if you feel that, comment below. So if you can remain anonymous somehow, I don't know. Is fur training and face character training separate? Yes, it is separate. I did a week's worth of fur training first, and then a few weeks later they scheduled me face character training, and that only took 2 days in comparison to the 5 days for fur training. Do you only get trained for one character at a time? For face, yes. For fur, they had me do several characters for training. Are there specific characters they'll have you train for before others? For example, Anna before Rapunzel. Yes, they did have priority princesses. So just whoever was more popular, trending at the moment. For example, Anna and Elsa were huge last year. I don't know if it's still that way with Anna and Elsa, but yeah, I mean, whoever's popular, they're gonna speed train you. That makes a difference. How much of it was one-on-one with a trainer? All of it, practically. And then she kind of asked a few more questions that I felt like got covered in the last video. Brooke O'Hinner, did they train you in the costume and wig, and was it hard when you lost or gained weight? How tough was it to be trained really, and how soon did they put you out? Yes, they did train me in the costume and wig, and I mentioned that in the last video. Was it hard when I lost or gained weight? I did gain weight slowly over the course of my time at Disney. Like when they hired me, I was initially 121 pounds back in 2004. And then on my last day at the very end, I was 135 pounds. And I went from being a size 4 to being a size 8 in the Jasmine pants that they had at the time. So thankfully, while I was there, I always fit into the costume. So I didn't have any trouble with fitting into the costume because they had so many sizes for Princess Jasmine, 4, 6, and 8. Thankfully, nobody ever gave me any grief about my weight while I was there. My waist was always kind of small naturally. Like I gained my weight in my legs and hips a lot and in my face. But my waist, thankfully, I have had a smaller waist. Now I have had 2 kids, so my waist is not what it used to be, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, naturally, I'm extremely thankful that it wasn't so bad of an issue for me. Shake what your mama gave you. You know? But, you know, Princess Jasmine was kind of that way, so. I do remember there was a Princess Jasmine who was more of an apple shape, and it was hard for her. Like, even though Disney cast her in the role, she also had green eyes, big green eyes. I think she was Caucasian even, you know, but she hated the way she looked as Princess Jasmine. She had a very exotic look about her, even though she had like blonde hair and blue eyes. Something about it was more like a sandy blonde, or a very light brown hair. There was something really exotic about her that I think is why Disney decided to cast her, but she felt like she did not look like Princess Jasmine at all, and she really struggled emotionally out on set because I'll be honest, I didn't think she looked like Princess Jasmine, but I was happy to be cast, so I was like, whatever, you're cast as Princess Jasmine. I don't see it, but they saw it, so it's all good, girl. You're here with us. But she knew that she didn't, and she was like, I don't feel comfortable being Princess Jasmine. I guess maybe she had hoped that they would fit her as a different princess, but I don't think Disney saw her as any of the princesses, really, but they really wanted to give her a role, so they just kind of stuck her in Jasmine. But she ultimately decided that the princess thing wasn't for her. She didn't feel like she looked the part, and so she actually declined the position. And I guess she felt like she couldn't do Jasmine justice, is how I was told. And so I felt sad for her, because I can imagine how she must have felt really wanting to be a Disney princess, but that was just kind of something that I saw while I was there. So I thought I would share that story with you guys. I don't know. Take it how you will. But, I never really got to know her. I never became close with her or anything. I just remember seeing her one day in the break room, and she looked really sad, and she was just like, I don't look like Princess Jasmine. I don't look like you guys, and I just don't feel right about being Princess Jasmine. I remember her saying that, but it was kind of busy, and I never got a chance to know her. She only did it for such a short time before she pulled herself out. So anyway, that's something I remember.